What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Welcome everyone to NECC week number 9, the final week of the regular season. Then we'll move on to all the upper brackets and all that fun stuff. But before we do that, it's the final week for R6. My name is Fel. I'm also joined here by H, my co-caster, and we've got a nice game. It's NECC versus CWU, or CUW. Sorry, did not mean to mix that up. But not the same NECC as the actual league itself. But their abbreviation is the same word sense. But what do you think about the map lineup for us so far? It's Cafe, Oregon, and also Clubhouse. It's going to be the trifecta of normal map CC for Rainbow.
As metas tend to be, they are generally the regular. That is the definition of meta, after all. However, these tend to be the three most common maps that you see played, with Cafe, Oregon, and Club. I would say Oregon and Club being the top two more common. Cafe, however, I haven't seen in a while. However, I would be expecting much more of pushes coming in from the top floor, like from on top of the roof onto third floor, down to second, down to first, because that just tends to be the order of operations when it comes to Cafe specifically. It's all kind of centered around that entry point rather than trying to push in from different angles and trying to get what you need done.
Yeah, there aren't really that many approachable ways to come from as an attacker on Cafe other than just approaching from the roof. So it does make a lot of sense that you see that almost every single time we go to Cafe. And honestly, that's why I hate it so much. It's just so boring and bland, and it sees the exact same thing over and over again. But the ban phase will represent that quite well as well, because we're going to see Thatcher off the board. He's the most banned operator in competitive as of right now, and I don't really blame them for banning him. He is just far too strong to be kept on the board, and that's going to make the attacker's job so much more difficult for that hard destruction, even more so now as Ace is also on the chopping block as well.
You can also replace that Ace with a Hibana, and I would personally replace him with a Hibana, judging by the new update to the X Cairo. So you can get both the 2, the 4, and the 6 layout for said X Cairo. And as we are talking about that, we're also going to be seeing a ban on Mira, which will allow less cover or much more of a less defensive capability on said reinforced walls. So then it'll be a lot easier for the hard reach to even get to the reinforced walls in the first place. So you can't as easily bandit trick it or cage trick it. You have to depend much more on the sound. And weirdly enough, we are seeing a Capcan ban. We have been seeing a lot of Capcan play lately in NECC, if Fellow can correctly recollect as well. We have been seeing a lot of mad Capcan plays going on. And honestly, judging after that, while it's not a meta ban, I'm not surprised that it is a ban happening here.
You know, I know what you're referring to. I can't remember his name, but
Pluto.
my
His name
God,
is
he
Pluto.
was. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness,
I don't remember the team.
Pluto. He was on a tear with Cavcan, so I don't really blame CWU for banning him because some teams will bring it out, and if you don't do your due diligence, then that's about 40 HP or 60 depending, right off your entire health pool. It is such a pain in the behind to deal with Capcan every now and again, so I guess it's more of a comfort ban if anything, and there's a lot of comfort operators being picked on the board for the side of NECC. Afinka and Dokkaebi, these are some of the least played operators in the current meta right now. H, what do you think about their lineup so far?
I support the Finka play specifically because I played a lot of Finka.
We
However,
stand Finka.
I stand Finka, yes.
Yes.
I completely stand Finka as a whole. So they're making the good play already by using the assault rifle and not the LMG. Because the LMG, while it has no recoil while you are adrenaline, you are only super effective in those 20 seconds. And after that 20 seconds, you aren't nearly as effective. And with a Dokkaebi and a Jackal, they are already trying to catch out the roam game as hard as they can and as quickly as they can, so they can kind of get in quickly using the Finka adrenaline boost.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Jackal pick just because it makes that roam clear so much more effective and it wastes so much less time. And time, especially on Cafe, is really of the essence. This is one of the biggest maps in the competitive league right now. So the more time you can get on your side, the better off you'll be. And oh my God, H, we're seeing a full white stairwell push. Everyone on the side of NECC is just lining up. Havoc will get 3 kills, make it a 2K. Sully picks up one for himself as well with the FMG9. And the push is just completely denied. CUW take away the first round almost flawlessly as they only lost 1 player on their entire player kit, or pool, sorry. Oh my God.
That was a 30-second round. I'm pretty sure. Like, they conga lined up white stairs and just melted. And that is, I think that shows perfectly on why the roof push is just kind of the meta and is just what is generally done. Because it is just the safest push for the attacking side. It is the most effective push for the attacking side. Because while that white stairwell push, if you pull it off correctly, might have been devastating for the defensive team, it is such a gamble because you are just all conga lining, and it is a fully automatic weapon, people.
I am really shocked that we saw that, H.
I'm
Okay. Hey, you
well,
know what? It's a great way to throw CUW or off guard, but I don't think it really worked out the way they intended it to. Now, however, we're going a completely different site, kitchen service and kitchen cooking, one of the most difficult sites to approach from because you have to normally roam clear out all 3 floors of the map and then actually push into the bomb site. So that's a lot of time off the side of NECC, but to be honest, H, I don't expect they're going to formalize towards normality. They might just all rush in a bakery in towards prep because their drones are already set up in that part of the map. It wouldn't really shock me if we see that on the second round, Age.
And even if they approached it in a much more normal fashion, with both a Dokkaebi and a Jackal, catching out those roamers would be a lot quicker and would save a lot more time in the first place. And we're also seeing a Cade on the defensive side, and that is a ban that you would normally see on the defensive side, but instead we picked out the Capcan rather than the Cade. Granted, we aren't seeing a lot of hard breach coming in for the NECC, or at least that is not a defined strategy of theirs, and we are already seeing a great difference from their conga line strat as they're pushing into second floor rather than trying to get all through the main entrance, as Dokkaebi over here calls to try to catch any sort of roamer out while they can. They're quick, they're fast, they're effective in the building at 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
All right, Northern Essex. I guess I spoke a little too soon. My silver tongue has been cut right out of my mouth, and they're going to double down. Germ picks up the opening pick on Havoc, one of the most impactful players of the first round. He got a nice little 3K at the very beginning, and this opening round for NECC looks great. A narrow miss there. That C4 should have killed D. Cali, but he remains alive with about 10 HP. NECC still have that man advantage, and they've already burned through a third of those C4s, but there's still one huge player they have to worry about. That's going to be Yalval, but Cali actually picks up the kill. Now a 5-on-3, and NECC are in a phenomenal position to win the second round.
This is a great difference and an awesome one to see when it comes to players. We're going to be seeing Cali try to catch someone up, and then he survives. Oh, that is just unfortunate. Granted, he didn't know that he was sitting directly in that corner, but I would say that is just perfect comedic timing. The Jackal finds the footprints of someone who's hiding right around that corner, scans him, finds him, doesn't quite realize that he's there, and then pays the price. Ultimately, the adrenaline rush coming in clutch for Germ over here, stabilizing that awful recoil for the SMG-12, allowing our Hibana to take down Poison over there, while Striv and Sully are left on point, and Cyrus has been taken down. We are quickly getting onto the site as we hit our minute mark rather than the delicious 20-second mark that you hear so much about. And Sully and Striv each find their own kills, evening it out to a 2v2 on site with 45 seconds left on the clock.
Carrier down once again. Motato still up above. He can reposition onto the white sterile. He'll be doing just that, probably to pick up that diffuser, but he could get caught with his pants down by Shrive. He could win that gunfight and make things a 2-on-1, solidifying get Shek. That would not be a great position for himself. Some bullets will come flying out, active pings being dealt with as well, but he's not able to connect the shot. Still a 2-on-2. Finka Boost gets lit up, allowing Shek to have 0 recoil in this engagement, but he's still going to miss all of his shots. Motato now gets injured. It's a 1v2, and Sully wins the fight with a clean headshot onto Shek. He does not need the adrenaline surge, and now another round win favoring CUW as they bring up a 2-round advantage against NECC's aggressive start.
I would have to say I have a lot more faith in NECC after that round 2, because based on that round 1, I was expecting some real off-the-wall plays. However, we are seeing very much more regular pushes, regular sweeps of the roam clear, but we are, however, seeing some rather irregular picks coming in on the form of Fuse and Blitz to try to get the Blitz probably try to push in as aggressively as possible, and the Fuse to try to get that overhead advantage. We are 6 picking the Blitz out. Instead, I personally would have gone for the Fuse, but that can also be used to burn out Jaegers, burn out utility, and we're going to be seeing that as well with the Twitch. We are trading out both of our roam clears for both just some sort of utility destruction, so they're trying to focus on trying to get the point much more clear rather than the, I'm going to call them the tertiary points, because that's where all the roamers will be anyway. So they're trying to focus on not clearing out the roamers, but much more on clearing the sites themselves.
Scott would be proud. That's all I have to say. But I'm a big fan of the Fuse pick. I think that Cafe is probably one of his best sites you can actually bring him for, other than Church and Arsenal on Clubhouse. It's because just the utility destruction, like you mentioned, you would think, oh, he has 4 cluster charges. They're literal flying grenades. Let's use them to kill people. No, no, no. On the contrary, you use them to break all the construction, or pardon, all the utility inside of the building to deconstruct the defensive hold. And that's such a huge advantage for NECC, because now they're not going to have to worry about those ADSs, those Malusi Banshees. They can just walk right into sight almost scot-free. The only thing that's going to really be a big issue is probably those toxic babes, because when defending Fireplace and Reading Room, you have to use those nitro cells to deny the vertical play, so there won't be a lot of utility that CUW can really use after that first half of a round elapses.
And we're seeing a very loud entry in the form of Cali just spraying a whole clip into that wood, trying to break in as well. But also, to continue on the Fuse point, they also recently gave Fuse a hard breach gadget, so you also are bringing a little bit more hard breach, which will allow a much more flexible push, along with the soft destruction of both the grenades and the utility destruction. And Yalva is going to take down Cali as he tries to hot breach through a window, with Motato taken down by Havoc as well. We have already lost both of our primary soft breachers for holding out that top advantage, both by Yalva. No, not both by Yalva, but Yalva got one of them catching out and doing her job as the roam, while Jerem is running around through train room trying to catch someone out. Sees the toes, trying to catch our Jaeger out, and he successfully does in a close shot through train Fireplace. How do you think this round is going to play out?
NECC has to grab that diffuser if they want to go for a plant, but planting inside of Fireplace is an absolute death trap, especially when you have shotgun holes being made by either Strive or Sully, but Sully's actually not opting to run that Mossberg shotgun. He'll have the FMG9 instead, but you get the idea. Those SAS operators, they're going to make kill holes across the entire bomb site. That way it's much more difficult for NECC to actually get a proper execute, and now they have to grab that diffuser and change up their entire attacking strategy. We're down to about a minute on the clock, H, and NECC is still quite decisive or indecisive as to how they want to push this. We're going to have Germ working in through main corridor. He'll get pushed away by that Toxic Bay, but it's actually being placed inside the actual bomb site, not in the hallway, so he can reposition quite effectively. It'll work out well. Yalva will get a refrag, though, onto Shek. Now, technically a 3-on-2 as Strive is down, but the man advantage is still favoring CUW, and they're able to hold down the site quite successfully as well. Germ having to worry about that back flank as well. He'll get lit up in the process, but able to escape death once more. But we're down to the 30 seconds on the clock, H, and it's a 1v4 as Sully picks up the headshot onto Germ. It's just up to Osiris in the middle of Pillar Room. I think this round's already tipped in the favor of CUW, as there isn't really much that Osiris can do on such minimal time and such limited manpower.
I concur with that. I fully agree with you. That's probably because, as we talked about it, with the fuse being utility clear, we didn't see a lot of utility clear because they weren't able to get into that top floor, as Yaval was able to just completely deny any sort of push and any sort of advantage that they would be getting from a vertical push, just somehow denying all of the cafe, just the cafe essentials. Again, they aren't really pushing from the roof. They're trying to push in from the sides. They're trying some different pushes, some different strategies, but they're even more further solidifying on why those strategies exist. They exist because they are the most effective, and they are also the quickest strategies to get in, along with losing as little people as possible if you're playing it correctly.
So we just saw flawless rotation by CUW. Northern Essex really not looking that strong right now, and they haven't changed a lot about their team composition, or at least not changing the proper stuff. From what their lineup is speaking to me, at least for the prep phase, after the prep phase, they're going to probably just rush up White Sterile again. I mean, Cali, he's on the blitz. We have another Finca. It really doesn't seem like they've prepared themselves to take Cigar or any part of the western side of the map. They're just going to push eastward and just try to win their gunfights, which for the most part, H, they really haven't been able to do that either.
See, Shek also played the fuse last round with the LMG, and if you want my opinion on it, while the assault rifle is technically better on Finca, I feel specifically for how we saw Shek perform out in Bakery, he might want to take the LMG anyway, because all the gunfights that I've been seeing him in, he's in adrenaline mode in the first place. So having that 100 bullets, no recoil, might just be the play here, because you can just kind of hold down that button and eventually they'll walk into your line of fire. It is just kind of the rule of LMGs, and we're going to be seeing another third floor hold coming in. Are we going to be seeing another conga line coming up White Stairs? We're going to be seeing it again, but this time we're packing a piece of tungsten. We got the adrenaline going. Cali, full of confidence, getting stopped by the barbed wire. C4 going off. Everyone's just going up White Stairs. They're trying to hold it off in Dining Room. Shek almost getting taken down through the wall. Running out the Jaeger. Oh no!
Oh, there goes the pain train. It works out perfectly.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Northern Essex actually gets the first pick of the round. They still have to clear out that top floor to actually get into the bomb site, and Strive is waiting patiently up above. He hears the audio cue. He'll wide swing right around. He one-taps Jerma, finishes him off. A clean shot with the Mossberg, evening things up, though, as Osiris will get a refrag onto Sully. Now a 3-on-3, but 2 minutes on the clock still. Anything can really happen. Carrier down in the middle of sight. The blitz was just in the middle of Freezer. Oh no, that's such a horrible spot to put yourself into. Now with 2-on-2, as Strive gets a trade on Osiris, and this could actually still be winnable for CUW. There's no more tricks up the sleeves of NECC, and they now have to confront their opponents head on, toe-to-toe in a separate gunfight now.
Even so, what I noticed the biggest issue was, especially with the pain train strategy, you just gotta go. You just gotta keep that momentum pushing. As soon as that barbed wire happened, as soon as they killed the Jaeger, I kind of saw the momentum die down. You no longer had the blitz running full force straight ahead with his shield. you saw just the momentum die down, and we have Shek on just a hair of HP, having to deal with 2 full HP people, one in the form of Mute and one in the form of Valkyrie. And our Valkyrie over here, in the name of Poison Luck, still has their C4. They still have that utility to be able to take down someone just completely indirectly. And we're not seeing shots land. We're seeing a lot of whiffs coming in towards Freezer as we try to take down Strive.
Oh, and it's not going to happen. It's going to be CUW winning up the round. 4 rounds in their favor now. This has been a very dominant first map of Cafe so far, and I think they're going to just keep this round favor just in their hands. I have not really seen a lot of well-executed strategies by NECC. It's just been really rough for them so far. Nothing's worked out. They need to just not go by the book. They got to play it a completely different way now if they want to actually have a chance of winning this, and not having a hard to structure when attacking kitchen serves and kitchen cooking is not what I meant by don't play by the book, because now you have really set yourself up for not so much success, but they'll opt off the buck onto a Habana instead, so they'll have a much better chance of performing both the vertical play and also the hard destruction along with the hatch, even though Buck now has a secondary hard breach, but I think you need a little bit more hard destruction than just the Buck.
And to speak of that, a little bit safer hard breach as well, because with that hard breach gadget, it is very much so you put it down and you can't really coordinate it as easily, or at least as safely, because with Hibana it is a much more ranged hard breach, and it is a lot bigger of a hard breach. It allows you to get a much better idea of who and what is on site, so then you can kill everyone who is on site, and then from there push onto it. And I feel like we're going to be seeing another bakery hold, and we're going to be seeing a very similar push from NECC coming in through train room and mining. We're going to be seeing that kind of push coming in again to try to clear out that roam. However successful it will be is up to them.
Yeah, it really didn't seem like CUW wanted to roam at all when defending kitchen and cooking the first time around, and I think they're going to just do the exact same strat they did the first time, because hey, it worked out. Why not just keep doing what's been, working out for you? And there might be a bit of an early Jackal scan by D. Cali that's going to spot out Pulse, who actually is above, most likely getting the hatch, but that shotgun in hand, it could catch Cali off guard if he's in a compromisable position in close quarters range. But right now, he's not going to really overextend himself. He's trying to use that utility towards his advantage rather than disadvantage. And oh no, he's right next to that corner. He can't spot him out entirely. Free Fire comes around, and the first kill favoring NECC will be on to Poison Luck. Great usage of that utility, and luckily, he was not going to have history repeat itself the second time around, picking up a second for himself as well. 5-3 favoring NECC. Let's just hope they don't throw away this man advantage.
I don't think that they will end up throwing away this man advantage. And as you are talking about Jackal's utility, I am seeing a few drones going around, but I don't know if the information is being utilized to its fullest potential. I'm not seeing a lot of people specifically droning out, as you see a lot in this tier of play. And we're going to be getting the adrenaline rush as well, as Cali is going to be smoking out our full A site and our B site, trying to use his gadget to his advantage, but just absolutely gets domed by Strive hiding behind this counter over here. That is a hard counter to wide side on, or just to wide push on to try to get a kill, because they have full cover, and Shaq is going to be able to take down Strive, Havoc taking down German Potato, taking down Havoc, a Christmas tree of a kill feed, and Sully is our last defender. And if there was any last defender to hold it out for the last minute, I feel like Smoke is the one that should be doing it.
He's got 2 Toxic Babes to work with. He can just sit this one out and try to deny the plant across the ways. There's no shotgun holes. Toxic Babe comes flying out through Bakery into small, but it's not going to find anybody. Now a 1v3 post plant, and Osiris from the deep angle near coat check will shut him down, denying the clutch possibility. And finally, Northern Essex CC will take their first round win on the attacking side of Cafe, bringing us 1-4 going into round number 6.
And we are reaching our halftime play. Do you think NECC is going to be playing a lot better on a defensive side? I feel like, personally, that we're going to be seeing a heavy roam game from NECC, and that roam game might end up being very strong in their favor, because they tend to be very quick, they tend to be very aggressive. I feel like a heavy roam strategy is definitely in their playbook.
I honestly can't really predict, to be honest. They're too built different. I don't know what to really say about them, other than the fact that they just play very aggressive, and sometimes it's too aggressive for even my own liking. But Kitchen service and kitchen cooking will be reattempted. I don't really blame CUW for going here. It's probably a much better site to defend than reading room and also fireplace. They just have to be aware of the aggression that NECC has been bringing time and time again. Maybe setting yourself up to not get Jackal scanned early on could be a huge benefit for them, and just waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and then you can deny that vertical play and also bring the man count back in your favor. That could really set CUW up for a great 5-1 split, which could guarantee them the first map win.
And I feel like because we saw one of our roamers run all the way out in the name of Pulse, he ran all the way out over to garage and then ran all the way back upstairs, allowing the footprints of him to be caught by our Jackal. But I feel that if you just put someone else to reinforce that wall, that'll be a great advantage to you, specifically someone who is just going to stay on point anyway. Because NECC already knows all of the players and all the operators that they have on the enemy team. So from there, it is just a much better idea to not let your roamer get caught out and just let someone like your Valkyrie or your Cade get caught out instead.
Cali, he might be able to get some early footprints again. It doesn't appear that CUW has learned from their past mistakes. Cali almost immediately profiting off of that intel, but it's going to get away from him. Pulse scurrying away like a little pesky rat. He's going to have to deal with him later on in the 6th round. So now Cali's going to reposition himself to worry about something else for the time being. He could obviously rescan him again, and he'll do just that. That intel could maybe guarantee he'll be flushed out eventually, but Yalval is not really down to die just yet. He's still wasting plenty of time, the first minute of the round coming to an end, and Northern Essex has not removed the issue of Pulse from the equation yet.
And they are really hunting this Pulse. We have our NECC doing a solo push from the roof down onto 3rd floor as we are getting a phone call as well that is immediately answered by both Poison and Sully, even though they aren't under any sort of fire in the slightest. But we are seeing just an aggressive roam clear, and Strive is able to get a C4 onto our poor Fuse. There goes the utility clear, and Havoc able to take down Osiris with Cali taking down Yalva. We have seen 3 people die in the time span of 10 seconds, and they are all really good picks to be having.
That's Carrier up above as well. Havoc just has to deny the push coming out. Sully with a nice shot onto Cali, now with 2-on-4. And Shek and Mateto might just try to go for the push into sight. The soft destruction or the hard destruction being deployed onto the back hatch inside a fireplace. I'm not too sure what NECC's strategy is, but I guess they'll attempt to try and grab that diffuser from the hands of Havoc lurking up above. Drone work being done, but it's not in a great position. They're going to have to contest him head on, and Havoc is in such a great position to outfrag both Mateto and Shek. He's just waiting for someone on the side of NECC to make a minor hiccup, and he'll mark it off of that greatly. He's just wasting so much time right now. Adrenaline Surge being deployed as well. 40 seconds left. NECC has to make a move or they'll lose this round simply based off of time and not from the lack of manpower that they have in this 6th and final round. If they lose this, they're not going to be in a great position for the second half as well. A peek finally about to come out. Havoc looks away at just the wrong time. He'll get punished for it. Shek will hit all of his shots, now with 2-on-3, but Father Time is not in the favor of NECC. They only have 10 seconds to convert this push all the way down to the bottom floor. Havoc might have been able to waste just enough time. 5 seconds left. It's going to be a funnel into the main doorway. Brief fire comes out by Sully and Poison, and it's going to be just enough to stall the push. CUW win just off of time, and that'll bring us, H, to a 5-1 split, just as I predicted.
If they weren't watching that main entrance like hawks, they might have been able to start a plant, but even so, I don't think we would have been able to get a full plant down. We would have had the point licked by the defuse, but I don't think it would have been ultimately fruitful. However, we are now switching sides. We are getting defense on the side of NECC, and we are already seeing a pick of Aruni, who has recently been unbanned from competitive. Aruni bringing a lot to the table in the form of utility denial and person denial in the form of damage in using her gates to just deny both utility and people, and our frost as well from just the traps. Just a lot to look for. And we're going to be having a primary roamer of Vigil, which is also a very common pick. And then on our attacking side, we have a very stock setup outside of a buck instead of a sledge and a fuse instead of most other people.
The Buck is probably a great option to bring, though, for CUW because they're attacking this top floor site of Cocktail and Lounge. Now, you can go underneath as Buck and do plenty of vertical play, and that can really catch NECC off guard for the players that are actually defending this bomb site. And also, he can break those bandit charges as well with that skeleton key from underneath, because that floor where the bandit charges are actually sitting, it's currently not reinforced on the bottom part, so he can just shoot them right open, break them, and then they can get that hard destruction on the quad wall. And I'm surprised by the lackluster setup by NECC. They have all of those walls reinforced. Normally you see an extension come out in through bathroom, but I guess NECC is still trying to hammer down that point in of they just want to play this round as aggressive as physically possible, doubling down on that point as D Cali is attempting a spawn peek, but it's not going to be fruitful. He'll get shot a singular time, brought down to 75 health, and I can only assume he's now backed off of that very aggressive angle.
And D Cali, that's a very risky play for D Cali specifically because they are playing Frost and they have not placed all of their traps yet. If they had placed all of their traps, it's relatively risk-free as they put it all into the nooks and the crannies in just the most unexpected spots, because that's what you got to do with Frost if you want to catch someone out with it. And we're going to be seeing a hold onto our balcony window as D Cali is going to be just kind of standing there like a statue. We're going to see if there is a peek on there. However, anyone knows if you are going to be pushing through the cafe roof, you do not peek that balcony window, because if you do, you are dead. You might as well be, at least. We're just going to be seeing a very stock push coming in from CUW, and the Aruni is showing out to be really useful for this hold, or at least the denial of a roof push, because we are having to use at least flash grenades, but in an unideal scenario, you wouldn't have those flash grenades.
Yeah, it didn't really worry CUW that much. They already hopped right in where they were supposed to be inside of Cigar Shop, and that flank watch now on the top of Red Stairwell. They're setting themselves up for a great execute into sight. They have a minute 20 to play with. The only issue is that they haven't found any type of opening frag yet, but again, a minute 15 or so now on the clock, that's plenty of time to at least pick up one kill, maybe underneath through that vertical play. But right now, Strive is sitting pretty all the way up above. He could obviously rotate at any given moment, but he might not opt for that. He'll just make some shotgun holes up in towards bathroom, but surprise, surprise, there's no rotate hole. They cannot approach from freezer, but the main wall of bar is actually soft. That can be shotgunned open, now allowing for a plant to be covered. Havoc going for that mentioned defuse, and it's going to be covered perfectly. No one able to deny. Now a 5v4 post plant, and CUW might just steal this round away from NECC. Another kill comes out as well. Motato shuts down Havoc in a 4v3 now, but there isn't much else that they can really do. A nice double kill for Poison. Yalval will drag out as well. Now a 1v4 all up to Shek as he tries to find the player up above near balcony. He'll hit his shots with that P10 Roni, but he's got to find 3 more. Very minimal time to work with, but he gets another onto Sully this time. 10 seconds left. He needs 7 in total, and Strive will eliminate him across the ways through the bar table, and that will guarantee CUW a match point position against NECC.
You can't even be mad at that. We saw 2 kills go through in that defuse phase. I feel like our Rooney in that example did great. They did the best that they could and used their gadget to its fullest ability in covering the both hatches of roof and even the red door and even the red stairway door, so they know where they're going to push in from. They know exactly how they're going to push in. However, with the access to flashes on the attacking side, they were able to quickly burn through them. And speaking of projectiles that can burn through a Rooney, we are seeing a gridlock, and we're seeing a Cali 6 picked from Blackbeard as well. Cali, I feel like, is not a good pick specifically on Cafe. There isn't a whole lot of long hallways that you can specifically hold and specifically pressure in order to get that big old advantage of the sniper rifle, unless you can get the mad flicks. But I don't think they will be able to get these mad flicks. However, with the site that they're going for, Cali might be up to a higher use on Kitchen.
I'm thinking that Callie's only gimmick here is she's just going to sit behind that black van near double doorway and just get a long angle opened up in a prep window. That's the best I can see her in right now, because other than that, there's really no long angles you can contest as a Callie. So I would agree with you. She's not the best pick to bring. Maybe it's to just get the bandits off the wall without Buck having to do vertical play, but what's the point of bringing a buck then if you don't want to go for vertical play? That's literally his entire job, is just soft destruction. Make Swiss cheese out of the wall is what you would normally call it, H. I hate to steal your little pun there, but yeah, I don't know. I don't quite get the Cali pick, but I mean, hey, Poison's doing quite well for himself, going 7-3, so maybe he'll do just as fine on the Cali pick as well. I mean, for the most part, it can one-shot or at least bring somebody down to about 1 HP so they can then be one-shotted by somebody else.
And we are going to be seeing the rifle used to its greatest capacity, and I would say the buck could also just be used to open up that prep hallway if they did not reinforce it, which we are going to be seeing here shortly. They did reinforce it, so we're seeing a bulletproof cam just absolutely decked by our Cali as our Cali holds over that hallway into Bakery. We're going to be seeing a very aggressive push as we get our Cali put onto the Bandit as well, so that wall's already open for Habana. We're seeing exactly what you predicted, in the form of just we might be taking the Cali only to take out the Bandit so we don't have the buck, but then that does bring up the question of why bring the buck?
Yeah, again, not too sure. Maybe he just likes using his rifle of choice. I honestly have no clue either, H, but Habana not going to get a confirmed entire wall opened up. You can't vault through that opening. You have to now use that hard destruction device by Strive, and he's nowhere to be found. He's up near reception right now. So CUW, a very unorthodox push at the moment. The best they can do now is probably just win their gunfights and then try to execute into the bomb site itself to go for a plant. This is a very one-sided push, to say the least. I'm not really that confident in CUW right now, and a great refrag comes out by Germ in the terms of a nitro cell onto Yalva. This might be a round win here for NECC if they play their cards right against CUW.
And I feel like it easily could be a win for NECC as Jerem finds another kill on this Strive as he's trying to take back that defuse and a refrag from Havoc. Osiris taking down Havoc. It is a Christmas tree, and NECC has basically already got it in the bag. However, I have faith in Sully to find the frags that he needs to find in order to win this round and clutch it out. I can see it happening. However, I do not think it will happen. It is in the realms of possibility, but they do have a very strong hold on the diffuser because you can easily hold that long hallway and have the defensive advantage fully as Sully gets a dirty headshot on Osiris through prep room as he has only 30 seconds left to either kill 2 people or somehow grab the diffuser, but I feel like we're going to be seeing much more of the former.
He's got to make this happen faster, like you said, very limited on the time right now. The clock is ticking down to the last 15 seconds of the round. He'll pick up the diffuser, but he still has to find 2 more kills in the round, and he won't find anybody else. Mateto will immediately clap back onto him as he enters near that opening in the back wall of Kitchen. And that'll be NECC's second round win for this first map series, but we're still incredibly close to this matchup being over. CUW only needs to take away 1 more round, and we either head to Bar, which was a site that was horribly lost by NECC, or we see Reading Room and Fireplace, which regardless favors the attackers. So either way, CUW could bring us to a 7-2 victory, H.
And we are going to be going to Bar and Cocktail Lounge as we get the French dynamic duo in the form of Doc and Rook. They're going to go for maximum survivability with hopefully the P90s. Nope, we're going to be switching out the Rook for someone who is not French, sadly. I was hoping to see the dynamic duo. We're going to be seeing a much smarter pick of Maestro. Maestro allowing a lot more information to be going out in the form of bulletproof cams. And what I feel like their greatest weakness was plant denial.
And that's exactly what Maestro can do best, is have his gadget set up to gather a ton of intel and then use his laser beams that shoot open from his evil eyes and deny the plant. It can even be used through smokes. Although we're not seeing any smoke grenades on the side of CUW, they could have brought a Jackal and had smokes, and at least NECC prepared for that. I'm still a huge fan of Maestro. I think he's one of the strongest operators to bring, and it should almost be a must pick on every single defensive round you play. Maybe not 100% of the time, but like 95. It's still a lot though, H, so I like it as well. But sadly, like you said, we're not going to see the Rook and Doc combo that used to be such a huge gimmick back in the day a few years prior.
I wish we were going to see it. However, I respect the Maestro pick
days
a lot more because the Alda is more effective at this, and we're going to be seeing a kill.
Oh, man.
spawn peek from Cali onto Havoc. That is their hard breach down with a spawn peek, as I was about to mention, the Alda LMG that Maestro is so known for having. So not only is his gadget super useful, his LMG is just an absolute tool of mass destruction. You are just able to dump that whole clip anywhere, and then you would most likely get a kill anyway. And if not, it has at least an intimidation factor of that dude just shot like 80 bullets. Why did he do that?
Yeah, fun fact, Maestro, Doc, and Rook used to all have ACOGs, and there's definitely a big reason why they don't. OP as heck. Also, spawn peeking was a big issue back in the day, and that's definitely been minimalized, but D. Cali, he's still fighting strong for those spawn peeks. That Alda is a complete laser beam with those 80 bullets, so he's still going to try his best, and his best will, in fact, bring him to success. So NECC, they now have the man advantage up by 1. A huge pick as well, like you mentioned, H. That's the Habana gone. So it's up to Strive to get that hard destruction. But to be honest, H, they might not need it. They could win simply off of stop destruction. Poison Luck almost breaking that evil eye as it did a massive amount of damage onto Sully. But it's not really going to matter. You can't shoot those evil eye cameras when their flaps are shut because they will believe or they will be bulletproof. But once they open up, then that can allow for someone to actually break them other than the Ash or Zofia charges in their kits. But minute left on the clock. Another great kill by D. Cali. Now a 5-on-2. NECC actually might win their 3rd round. The 2nd one in a row. Germ picks up another as well. It's just a 2v5 now, all up to Strive and Poison Luck, and they don't have that much time to work with here.
My question is, why is Cali bringing out the Maestro in this last round? Like, because they are already being so effective with the Maestro and using it to its maximum capacity that they are able to fully just absolutely destroy the team with not only the double kill, but the Maestro cams on top of that, as Germa gets a C4, or Germ gets a C4 onto Poison Luck as well. We are down to a 1-5. 30 seconds left on the clock with our Buck getting a cheeky headshot onto Mateto, but I don't think it's going to end up really well. And Cali able to get that 3rd kill of the round with that delicious Alda. Just, I don't know why they didn't pick the Maestro earlier. Cali is just absolutely mopping house with it.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like I said, he is at least an A-tier operator. You just should bring him. Good rule of thumb. If Maestro's allowed, bring him. Sometimes he gets banned every now and again. But when he's not banned, you gotta have him on your roster. It's almost a necessity. Now, there's one player missing from this pool, but it might have just been a visual issue on my end because now Yalva is actually there, so it's not that big of an issue. But 3-6, NECC, they're making a slight comeback. Now, they gotta win 3 more rounds in a row, and it does sound very unlikely to happen, but it is doable. However, CW or CUW now gets to attack on probably the easiest site other than Mining Room, and they have a phenomenal lineup to actually get that vertical play into effect and do a proper roam clear from that top down push that we typically tend to see on Cafe. But surprisingly, H, I don't think we've really seen that often except for when CUW's been attacking on this map.
We haven't, and even when CUW did attack on this map, they did also take the fuse, but they did not properly use the fuse to clear out any utility that was on site. They also do not have any sort of projectile denial on our defensive side for NECC. We have the Aruni, but that's barely counting. I would say that is counting for projectiles coming in through doors, not general point protection. So the fuse might be able to have a bit of a playground if they are able to push in through the top, if Cali is not able to deny that kind of push. And on top of that, we are dropping the Maestro for a Vigil.
Yeah, D. Cali, he's been able to frag out, so I don't really blame him for going on that frag roll, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Maestro again, but it's only a minor pet peeve thing. It's not the end of the world. Vigil is probably one of the best roamers you can have on your defensive lineup, so why not bring him as well? You know, it's not that big of a concern. But CUW, it looks like they'll be going all the way up above. That top-down clear that I mentioned beforehand will actually come into play, so this could be a little bit of a concern because NECC, They have a couple of roamers up above, both Decal and Germ. But speaking of someone on the side of NECC, a Fuse cluster charge will eliminate Shek, and now CUW has the man advantage. The first minute coming to an end, and we've already seen an amazing entry kill coming out, and another one as well.
No.
Wall bang. Oh my goodness, Havoc, how do you get away with that? CUW now up by 2 separate players, and only now has the first minute of the round come to an end, H.
We have Germ on our roam, and then Mateo and Osiris just both kind of cowering on that point. We have Germ coming back to A, getting that extra support, but I feel like it's already in the bag for CUW. We already have lost our primary fragger and our Rooney on top of that. So it is a 5-3 advantage. No one has even seen the attacking side. They're using the Fuse to its maximum capacity, blowing out some more holes in the top as Osiris is trying to get a cheeky peek through into it, and Strive is going to get just a little bit hit because of that, but nothing to really worry about it. It'll heal in post.
Minute 20 now on the clock. CUW, they're in a amazing position to win out this round and bring us 7-3. They still have the man advantage, and NECC is just on their toes right now. They're just one push away from falling flat on their faces and losing out this most important round that they've had so far. Germ, very far away from most of the confrontations. A soft ping comes out on a camera that can allow for Germ to mark it off of a possible kill with that intel. He hears the drop, wide swing comes out. He'll land the headshot onto Sully. He's got to find another one though, and that Jackal scan can force him to retreat. That's exactly what would happen. He has to play a little bit more passively. Maybe he'll wait for a dock stim, but instead, he'll just wait around that doorway instead, possibly to find another, but no one's pushing him just yet because CUW still has plenty of time for this execute. 30 seconds on the clock, and if they just start stacking bodies into either one of the bomb sites, this could be huge. Plant begins to come down. C4 tossed by Germ will completely miss. Plant now being confirmed inside a fireplace. This could all be over for NECC. There's no way they can contest this. They have to find at least some sort of pity frag if they want to have any chance of claiming this round win, and Germ will do just that. But Havoc immediately trades things back in the favor of CUW. Yalva follows suit, and Havoc with a great kill to end things off. CUW take the first map, 7-3 fashion.
That is just something you'd like to see when it comes to the attacking side. But again, we are seeing a great lack of defuse denial. We're seeing a great lack of plant denial specifically. And even, I will like to say for the record, even if they did have a Maestro cam on that, even if they had some sort of plant denial on that, our Fuse was able just to put their charges onto the most effective spots possible. And with the lack of that projectile denial, you can't really defend it as well. So I feel like it would have ended up the same way even if you had the Maestro in the first place, because they would have been able to destroy that plant denial and then push onto point and then plant fairly easily. We saw it again. They were able to sneak onto point with relatively little kills and get the plant down.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better, but we'll go into a short little break, return for map number 2, which I'll actually go check on the map ban the way you guys actually know what we're heading to. It's going to be Oregon, everyone's second favorite map. One of the most well-known maps in Rainbow Six competitive due to how played it is, so CUW might set themselves up for an easy 2-0 map scoreline unless NECC can pull out some magical tricks up against their opponents.
And I am looking forward to those picks on NECC. We might see a very frag-heavy meta coming in because both Oregon and our next map, if they do win Oregon Clubhouse, are both very frag-heavy maps because the meta is just so kind of ingrained. However, based off of that first initial push onto White Stairs and Cafe, I don't know if NECC is necessarily going to be following said meta. So
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch it.
Welcome back, everybody, to NECC week number 9 for the R6 division. Need a little reminder, my name is Fellow, also joined here by my co-caster of H, and we just watched CUW win their first map against NECC. Again, not the league, that's just their acronyms. If you want the full one, it's Northern Essex CC. I don't think it was able to fit the last 2 ones on the map band logo, but at least we know that it stands for Northern Essex for the N and E part. But we're going to hop into Oregon in just a little while. Don't have to wait that much longer. Both teams should be readied up again as they're all in the lobby. Might just be waiting on a couple of things here and there. But, I give Oregon a lot of slack, but I mean, it can still be a fun match to commentate over from time to time, especially since NECC has been kind of a wild card team for the most part.
We might be seeing some weird plays, some wacky things going in through in the side of NECC, as we are going to be seeing them, I believe, attack first this time as well. We are going to be seeing them attack maybe for a third time if they are able to win this Oregon map. However, I don't know what kind of push they're going to be going for. I feel like we are going to be seeing something very similar, something hard, something quick. We're going to be seeing a lot of what we saw on White Stairs in Cafe. And when I say that, we are going to be seeing the typical Thatcher ban on the side of CUW. Again, as you mentioned last round, the most banned operator in the entire game, because that just removes so much potential for our attacking side and just makes their job all the much harder to try to push in through, especially onto Oregon with some of the hard walls, especially in construction room. And our second ban here is going to be Ace. I feel like we're going to be seeing the same bans, and if I'm going to guess, we're also going to be seeing the Capcan ban again.
Yeah, especially when it's a band that's very comfort based. If it was, I don't know, something like a Maestro pick, for example, then maybe it kind of depends on the map. But Cab Cannon is like, you normally don't ban them unless you just have a personal vendetta against them. But we will see a slight difference. There will be no Mira ban, instead a Malusi ban, but that's still a great ban nonetheless. Maybe we'll see Mira as the final pick, and that's actually going to be the case. I kind of figured, because she's way too strong on Oregon to be kept on the board, even if that would allow CUW to have a huge advantage in the first half, because that favor could also be returned in the hands of NECC. And fun fact, the last 2 C's stand for community college. I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together, to be honest. That was kind of a Pega brain of me, but hey, at least I have Gnarls to make up for my mistakes, so thank you.
Bless our production team.
Yeah, thank
But
God for
we
that.
are going to be seeing a very generalized picks, very similar picks, but we're going to be seeing Shaq picking out a Ying as well. Whether they'll be 6 picked out, I do not know, but that is supporting my theory of them going in hard and going in quick, especially with Kids Dorm, which is one of the meta sites to hold on Oregon. It is the Kids Dorm and Basement are the 2 easiest sites to hold, and then you kind of go to your tertiary if you won both of those. And we are going to be keeping the Ying. So I'm going to assume they're going to be going for some sort of smoke plant in that kids dorm big window over by the bunk beds.
Yeah, they have 2 smoke grenades to work with, and very minimal hard destruction as well. Germ's the only hard breacher again. It's just those Exyrus charges, so maybe they'll get the closet wall opened up, but I really wouldn't see how well this attic-sided push could work out for NECC, just because of how limited they are based on their operator lineup. So I think you're right, H. We'll probably be more favored towards either a very aggressive closet push, or at least okay, or at least a big window push. What? Okay. Yeah, okay. Sure. All right.
Just gotta move.
No, I have no words. Okay.
That is just nope. I mean, sometimes you put the rotate hole in the wrong spot, so you just kind of gotta fix your previous mistakes. It's like using whiteout, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like if you mess up on a piece of paper. And then we are going to be seeing a big tower push coming in on the side of NECC. It's not what I was predicting in it being a kids window. We're going to be seeing a very attic side push, which, given their credentials as operators and what operators they have, I don't think that this is the ideal push they should be doing. I think that they should be going for that kid's bedroom and maybe using the Hibana for a flank.
Especially when there's so much utility put into this attic push, I really don't think NECC has enough counter utility to go up against it. other than, of course, those Yin Candles. But even then, it still might be a little bit difficult for them to actually execute into Attic properly. But we're going to hear those Exarses go off on the back wall near Attic, so it will eventually get opened on up. They just need to make it either a vaultable or a run-in hole, and that's exactly what will happen by Germ. So they could set themselves up for a very great take, but again, like I said, those Candelas are going to be a huge factor in this northern moving to south-sided push, and if that part of the equation fails, then it'll all just come crashing down, and a flank by Havoc does not get punished up until he finds a 2K. He'll eventually end up meeting his maker by the hands of Germ, but the damage, H, has already been done.
Oh, and that is our Zafia and our Jackal down. Down to goes our primary roam clear, and along with that, one of our soft breachers in the name of Zafia, and one of our usually primary fragging operators, and they are going to go for a full rotate over to the main stairway hall by the looks of it, and they just don't know what to do. They're kind of running around with their heads cut off like chickens, or like chickens with their heads cut off, and they are just trying to figure out where to go and how to do it. They are aware of the frost trap up there, so they won't push up there just yet, but I feel like they don't have many options given that they only have a minute left with only 3 people left on the clock. They have to get something done, and they have to get that something done quick.
Yava waiting very patiently right in the middle of Armory. He's waiting for that stairwell push to come out, but so is the sledge player of Mateto. He's well aware of Yalva being there, but he's not going to be able to line up the angle. Yalva just waiting so patiently. It'll work out for him perfectly, and a nice shot by Strive as well onto Germ. It's just a 1v4 now up to Shek. He's got plenty of utility to work with, those 2 Candelas, but I don't think he's going to be able to find 4 separate frags in these next 15 seconds. He'll desperately try to push up towards the white part of the map. He'll light up 1 through the wall. There goes Strive down for the count, but 5 seconds left. It's all but hopeless for Shek, as he just has no time to work with here.
And along with that, you are also lacking in your smoke grenades, so even if he didn't want to try to get frags, he would have been able to just flash smoke, do the usual Ying thing. However, with the lack of those smokes that was lost when our Jackal died, we weren't able to get that kind of aggressive smoke push that I was predicting, as they win on kids' dorms and almost guaranteed are going to be going down into basement, in which, again, we did not ban the Cade, and I'm surprised we didn't see a Cade on the defensive side because of how strong of a utility Cade is, and just holding off a full wall. So we'll be seeing on how they do it again on the side of CUW. We're going to be seeing an alibi pick as well, whether that is 6 picked out and that is a fake pick. We will see. We're having Shek going back on the Finka and Callie back on the Blitz. They are going to be going for the pain train strategy. They have to get maximum pushing power through if they want to have this to work out. And I feel like basement is not the site to be trying it on.
So I was gonna actually say something earlier, H, but I didn't want to, jinx it. I was gonna ask you if you thought we would see a Blitz and Finka push when we would go to Laundry, and it actually happened. I'm really worried about NECC because it hasn't worked yet. The entire time on Cafe, it did not work a single time for them. Maybe once, if you want to count, I believe it was the 8th or 9th round when they were attacking, but even then, it wasn't just the Finka and Blitz push. It was so much more than that. So NECC, still the same old shenanigans that we saw in Cafe. They'll bring it to Oregon, and again, similar to what we saw in Cafe, I don't think it's going to be able to work out for them.
Especially with the lack of a hard breach, because I think the best way that they could do it is that they could breach in through construction and then get through elbow, and then from there figure it out. But they are just going to be pushing really hard into garage here. The sledge not supporting our blitz to keep that blitz momentum that he ever so desperately needs. We're having someone waiting in meeting hall, probably going to be able to catch out this blitz, missing a gadget, able to see who is there, trying to get into a gunfight. D. Callie taking down Poison yet again with the blitz. I do know, and I can tell that Callie knows how to play blitz, because a good blitz player is a bit of an anomaly and a bit of a problem, as we are getting an adrenaline rush coming in for Callie as he's running into main site. Notices that's not a real alibi, and we're seeing Havoc take down Germ. No! Oh, our blitz has gone down by the hands of Yalva as well, and we are down to a 3-4 ratio coming in for the CUW, just sided, and they have lost all momentum. Yet again, this is the problem with the pain train strat. You have to keep that momentum and you have to support your blitz to the maximum capacity, and they have not been doing that.
Too much pain, but not enough train, so NECC will fall to the hands of Havoc. He picks up a double kill for himself, almost a 3K, but Cyrus will shut him down. But a quick refrag comes out by Yalva onto Osiris. Just a 1v3 now, and Motato Clark is getting trapped inside of Freezer via those toxic babes. There's none left in the hands of Sully, but still, this is a great position for CUW as they're up 2 players against Motato in this 3-on-1. Motato gonna go around for the peek across the ways. He'll spot the shoulders of Sully, and he'll connect to that head of the smoke player. Now a 1v2. A little bit more winnable, but the cross peak is in the hands of CUW. He can't find them both at the exact same time and won't even find one in compensation. CUW take the second round win, now 2-0, a repeat of what we saw on Cafe, even more so now as the pain train strat fails once again.
At least they're taking the blitz now, because the first time they didn't take the blitz and they just absolutely melted. They realized we need a piece of metal.
True.
We need someone in front to have the piece of metal. But they aren't successfully supporting the said piece of metal. Because at the end of the day, a piece of metal isn't a gun. And that thing ain't gonna shoot. So while you can find some frags with that dinky little pistol that that all the Germans have in that side, they aren't going to be able to get much done with it. Sure, you'll be able to find a frag or two here and there, but they won't be able to carry the whole push without the support of their team. And they're all just kind of conga lining behind our blitz rather than trying to push in from, let's say, big tower and catching out anyone on pillar, or pushing in from a little bit of construction and trying to catch anyone out on that angle as well. If that's not basically the same angle as big tower would be, as we are going to our tertiary site of kitchen dining room.
It's the trinity of maps now for Oregon, heading to dining and kitchen now. I prefer this site a lot more, but actually a lot of competitive teams are opting to return to meeting and kitchen. It's always a back and forth between those two bomb sites, but both of them have those pros and cons for one another. And the pro of going to dining room is what we're seeing right now, that extension into showers, the room right next to that A bomb site, and now the Maestro player of Strive can just sit there comfortably the entire time, and so much utility now has to get burned on the side of NECC if they want to flush out Maestro. But to be honest, NECC, they might not even approach from that direction. It looks like they're going to go up above, clear out the main roamers, and then perform some type of vertical play. But even then, I might be wrong because everyone's just stacking up inside a garage. I honestly have no clue how NECC wants to take this. Maybe they think the bomb site is inside of laundry, but that's not going to be the case. They lost the subjective room. I don't know.
I feel like this is just a slight lack of game knowledge or just some general confusion. Or it could just be roam clear. The Jackal could just be searching for a roamer, which I don't think CUW has had a very strong roamer, as I believe, completely corrected as our Jackal spots someone. But Yalva is able to catch them out. It is the Pulse. It is probably the best person to have on a vertical hold when it comes to roaming. Jerem able to take down Yalva while taking in that delicious adrenaline. So we have already cleared out one of our 2 roamers. I don't think they are aware of the second one yet.
I don't think they are either, H, but a great opening pick for NECC. They look like they have a strong chance against CUW, and this is probably the most favorable site for them. It's a lot more difficult to defend dining and kitchen or meeting and kitchen. Smoke grenade comes out though. Poison Luck now having to fall back slowly with a nice refrag. Another one comes out though, this time by Poison Luck, but can he find another? No, he gets too aggressive. He eyes down that diffuser, and it's just all he sees, not the player to his right. Now a 3-on-3. NECC, they're not in the worst position, but they have to re-pick up that diffuser and gain the man advantage back in their favor, and they've already done one of those 2 things. They just have to retake the diffuser. Strive from showers, though, shuts down Germ. Now a 2-on-2, and things are equalized a second time, and we have Havoc on the deep flank. This could be huge. He could deny the plan. There's no coverage from the eastern side. This could be massive if he has the intel to work with it. He doesn't have the intel, but he has the eyesight and shuts down Check. Now a 1v2, all up to Osiris, and he won't win his fight against Havoc. More than enough time to defuse, and CUW retake the site and win their 3rd round, a second flawless rotation for them on Oregon.
That is just showing That is showing the defensive capabilities of CUW in that we had perfect, even though they got the plant down and they weren't able to fully deny it, they were able to get their rotates down correctly and quickly and effectively enough to be able to catch out people as soon as they did their job. And that they were able to catch out the defuse only 15 seconds into its timer. That's all the time that they needed to be able to defuse that bomb, and they were able to get to it as quickly and effectively as possible. As we go back up to kids' dorm rooms with a very similar lineup on both teams, I feel like the blitz pick is only for basement at this point, if they will bring that back.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. And what I meant by the second time for a flawless rotation round for CUW, this happened on Cafe. That's what I was referring to. I didn't mean to say just on Oregon. A little bit of my mistake. I should have explained it a little bit better, but the exact same thing happened. CUW has just been able to either retake the site when the plant comes down or just denies the push outright, not having a plant come down at all. It really just seems like they're in their element, and sadly, I cannot say the same thing for NECC. And now we're returning to probably one of the better objective rooms for Oregon, dorms and kids room, and the exact same lineup that we saw on the side of CUW is what's going to be brought on the board. But on the bright side for NECC, they have a small glimmer of hope in terms that they have a slightly different lineup. It might be a little bit difficult for them to remove those mute jammers from underneath because they don't have a soft destructor like Ash or Zofia, but it's definitely doable with either a shotgun, for example, by D-Cali or the IQ scanner on Osiris.
Or a very cleverly cooked grenade, which I honestly, at this point, I would not be surprised if NECC was able to do that. If they were just able to cook that grenade in such a perfect way. Okay, I'd be surprised if they could do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they attempted it.
Okay, all right,
Much
that
more.
makes more sense.
That just definitely seems like something that they've considered and something that they will consider. Or we're going to be seeing a really hard push into main entryway rather than the garage push that we have been seeing ever so popular on the side of NECC. And I also noticed that they had a bit of a stronger defense, so we might see if this will turn a full 180 when NECC moves over to defense. However, when it comes to attacking, I feel like CUW just has the playbook strategies down. They have what they want to get down, as we are hearing a thermite charge coming in through while Strive takes down Cali, but they are not quite out. We're seeing a destruction into the games room wall. They already have all the angles that they need to be able to work with it. However, will NECC be able to push onto site onto CUW and make the most of the sites that they got going? Osiris apparently can't, as Havoc takes down both Shaq and Osiris. Our Finka is down, a bit of a pinnacle in our strategy for NECC with that adrenaline rush. That extra little HP has been helping them quite a lot, as Germ is trying to get a shot into Attic all the way from Closet. I feel like CUW already has this in the bag, especially with Smoke denying all the angles that he can.
Another massive 2K for Havoc, now going 8-2 in this second map, and a minute 20 on the clock. NECC is not in that great of shape. They're down 2 players. Stun grenade comes out. It'll blind Strive, but it doesn't really matter. Sully picks up the kill on the Germ. Now a 2v5 as it's just up to Motato Clark and D-Cali, and Cali is just on a chunk of HP. It does not look that great for the Jackal player right now, so we might just see this turn into a 1v5, and just as I say it, it comes to fruition. Havoc picks up a third, and Strive with a 2K for himself. A flawless round for CUW, and a nice buddy ace to seal the deal on the 4th round for CUW.
That is just a damage to your morale as a team as well. You're already not having your pushes work out in the first place, and now you just got flawless rounded. NECC is probably not in the best space mentally in the first place, so their strategies might just end up flopping again a little bit. I feel like that we have a decent amount of the skill needed, but we don't have the strategies at all. And that is just showing its head very aggressively when it comes to Oregon, because Oregon, the strategies are just so well known and so adapted. And even though CUW has been adapting that a little bit and changing it up, we still have our same central picks of Jaeger, Smoke, some sort of wall denial. And we are seeing the skill and just the knowledge come into fruition as they're able to hold their points perfectly. And I feel like NECC doesn't know how to push into that kind of strategy.
Yeah, they're out of their comfort zone. I can't really say much for NECC. They just seem lost on Oregon, just as they were on Cafe, essentially. Now, we're going to go back to Laundry and Supply, and Old habits die hard, apparently, for NECC, because they're bringing the Blitz and Finka again, and it has not worked out for them once this entire best of 3, and sadly, I don't think this is going to be an enigma of a round. I think CUW is going to take their 5th round win on Oregon. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but that's just what it's going to line up to be most likely, H.
I think that one of my buddies, Narwhals, put it best. Not all pieces of metal are a gun, but all guns are pieces of metal. Like, you gotta support that blitz if you want to get that push working, and they haven't been supporting that blitz. They've just been kind of depending on that blitz. They've been leaning on them, even though I would say blitz feels much more of a support role, like an entry support, rather than some sort of fragger. Sure, he is able to get those kills, but he is not able to carry himself fully with just his pistol and his shield. As we are seeing a very aggressive push coming into construction, we are going to be seeing the Adrenaline, I believe, sometime soon here. No, we're seeing a very aggressive push into L. Just a spray. They're not able to get the smoke down. The smoke's able to get his babe down, and they aren't able to kill the smoke. They aren't able to catch the smoke completely out. If he just absolutely sprayed and just went for it, they probably would have killed him. But that is Elbow already cleared out with barely a minute spent.
But then it gets recaptured by Sully. I don't know if he backed up and ended up reinforcing the back wall, but still, a minute off the clock, and NECC has not covered any ground, and it will get reinforced eventually. All that hard work, sweat, blood, and tears will just be for nothing now. NECC has to confront their challenges head on. Great Candela by Osiris, narrowly winning that 1v1, but it'll come out on top for NECC. They have the man advantage. Blitz just waltzes his way right into sight, but Sully will get a refrag on the Blitz, covering Poison. Now things are even on up, and that was the biggest concern so far for CUW, but Osiris around the corner finds double kill for himself. A trade comes back out once more though. Strive with a nice headshot on the Germ, and now we're on an even man playing field as NECC may have control of the back of Pillar, but they still have to execute into the site, and there's players like Sully that are just waiting for that exact moment to punish them.
I'm still surprised that the smoke was able to get away, and Strive does take down Osiris as well. That is a very strong pick. That is our Ying. That is probably the best pushing potential that you have taken out of your hands. The best idea you got is using that one Adrenaline that Sheck's got, and then using the good old-fashioned meat drone, and just hoping you are able to get the frags that you need in order to win the round, as we are entering our last 40 seconds left on the clock. It is still a 3-2 CUW favor, and there's still a lot of utility in the form of our Frost Mats that I do not know if they've been clearing. We might be seeing a Frost Mat kill if they are not expecting it at all. We're going to be seeing a plant denied by Yalva, and that is a round win as Yalva finds their second kill onto Sheck as well, having that awesome positioning all the way over, and Freezer able to deny both the plant and the backup.
Another great round win by CUW, and they might actually take away this first half flawlessly. If that happens, H will already be put into match point, and then only one more round after that will seal the deal for CUW, and NECC will have to go home with empty pockets, losing to CUW in this best of 3. We won't go to a third map because the first 2 will already have been won by CUW, so they are not in a great position right now. They have to get at least this one round win on the board if they want to have any fighting chance moving into the second half.
And they are going for, again, on these off picks. We are seeing 0 picked out again, which I also respect the 0 pick. But we are seeing both Capital and Fuse again. We saw the Fuse last round, and I feel like that is because they know that they have to push in from the top, or they have to, or much more if they are going to be kitchen dining, so the Fuse will be much more effective in their current positioning as a top breach or as a top utility clear. And we are going to be seeing the Capital hopefully utilizing his smokes and his fire bolts to their maximum capacity. However, I don't know if that necessarily agrees with the 0 pick. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just a wild mix. I don't really know what to say, honestly, H. It's weird. Just weird. There's 3 secondary hard breaches, but there's really no one to help with the hard destruction other than that. I mean, there's no Mew or Bandit or Kite on the wall at all, so I mean, I guess it's okay for NECC, but it's just, I don't know what to think about this H at all. Like, it's just weird. I can't say anything about it. I'm speechless.
See, I feel like if they, I'm going to say a slightly unpopular opinion. I feel like if they picked the glass instead of the 0, this would seem much more like an actual strategy. But I feel like they're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Because if you had a glass, you at least then had you had 6 smokes plus the Ying. You could easily get in, plant it right in the doorway as you smoke it out, and then have the glass watch from a long angle. But that is not a possibility as we have picked out a 0 instead. So we are lacking in that kind of smoke push.
Nothing much to really discuss. The first minute has only now elapsed. Poison with a great opening frag, though, onto Germ. There goes your Capital player, so no smoke plants will be had because Ying's not bringing any smoke. She opted for a secondary hard breach. She's probably going to have to pay the price for that now later on. She'll utilize that secondary utility, but it probably won't help them that much later on down in the long run. But still a 5-on-4. A minute 40 left on the clock. CUW, if they just keep playing this passively and they don't throw away any players as of right now, they could just win this 6th round and put themselves in match point, which is obviously an amazing spot to have yourself in only after the first 6 rounds.
And that is the first 6 rounds flawlessly won by CUW. And by then, I mean, they were just won back to back to back. Not all of them are flawless rounds. And so Cyrus finds a kill onto Strife. That is a very good pick because now there is no longer any sort of plant denial, at least in the form of Maestro, while Shaq finds a kill onto Havoc with that Russian LMG, which I feel like he has been having a lot more success with rather than the assault rifle on Finka. And I don't know why he just doesn't take the assault rifle. Why he doesn't just take the LMG on Finka, because it is the same LMG. Poison getting caught in the corner of B, hoping to God as he holds down this defuse ankle by the looks of it, just that no one runs in and swings wide. Sully able to find a kill onto Kelly. That is our 0 down. That is a lot of information. Sully finding another kill onto Osiris. That is our Ying down. And we are down to the same 2 players of Mateto and Shek, the Russian and the Brit. And we don't know what to do here, and they don't have any sort of utility to help them push in quickly.
2v3 now, like you mentioned. NECC, not a lot of time to spare. They have to just go for frags at this point. They don't even have diffuser in their hands. Maybe Motato Clark can pick it up on his way to site, but he has very little time to do that. We're down to 10 seconds. No one's pushed into either one of the bomb sites yet. They're completely undecisive. This might just be a loss. Motato, you're spinning around in circles. You gotta pick up a direction. He's gonna go with Shek, and there's just no time to plant. CUW win just off of time again, and they will in fact bring us to a flawless 6-0 rotation moving into the 7th round. H, they might just win the 2nd map right here, right now, and it'll be an upset for NECC.
That is just, you hate to see it. You hate to see just the absolute indecisiveness that we just saw Mateto display. It is something where you kind of just got to trust your team and you kind of got to just trust your gut. We saw a lot of debate going through the head of Mateto in the hands of our Sledge, and we are going to be seeing the double French pick again coming in on the NECC side. Hopefully they stick with it this time. They do have the Maestro, so I feel like it won't be 6-picked, and we will see in the future. We are seeing a Blackbeard 6-picked out into Jackal for that roam clear, and we are taking the Cali again for our CUW as we do keep our French operators on the side of NECC. I feel like that the Cali pick is still a weird pick, but a little bit better in the hands of the map of Oregon. However, I'm not 100% certain, or I at least don't remember, if the Rook plates save you from a Cali shot.
I mean, they nerfed her overall damage, so not a lot of players can actually get one-shotted by her anymore, except for 3 speeds, but H, do you see any 3 speeds on the defensive lineup?
I see. I believe, no, I don't think I do.
No, because I think Valkyrie's a 2 armor, and if not, she's probably not going to be encountering the Cali anytime soon. She'll probably be playing very reclusively, so the Rook isn't necessary, but one thing I do like about the Rook is that you can bring a 2x optic on the board, so Germ could go on a frag fest. Now, his stats wouldn't really line up with that sentence that I just said there, but maybe he'll prove me wrong on the defensive hold because this is a much more defender-favored map, so maybe he'll be in a better spot to get those kills that his team desperately needs.
I really just want to see a face check into the Cali, and then they just tank the Cali and then kill the Cali. I really want to see something like that. But I doubt we will see something like that as Havoc takes a bit of a blow to his knees. They have not provided any sort of defense on the Attic side. They're just kind of giving up Attic. That is a great site for our Cali to hold. I don't know if they even used any utility on that, and our Cali is going to be trying to find a few shots. They are able to find one on the side of Osiris, showing off that that is the dock down. If the dock just got downed but not out, they would have been able to get back up. They're going for maximum survivability with both Rook and Doc, but there is no armor for the head in this game.
Sadly not. A caliber bullet that large right to the chrome dome, it's gonna obliterate you. Exactly what happened to Osiris. A 5-on-4 now, CUW having the man advantage for a several time now, and D Cali gonna get eradicated by Sully. It's just a 5v3 now. CUW, they just might sweep away this round win immediately. Matedo, though, has something to say about this 7th round. He'll pick up the headshot onto Havoc, slowing things down a little bit. Yaval will get a trade, though, onto Shek, now a 4-on-2. The plant could possibly come down. There's no form of denial via an impact grenade or a C4. Matedo only has one, and that's not going to kill somebody going for that plant. Maybe it can allow him to have a kill hole up above, but even then, an attacker can just simply move. They have more than enough time in the world to go for this plant. There's a minute remaining on the clock. This really does seem hopeless for NECC, even more so now as Germ gets a kill Germ will get killed by Sully. Potato finds one in compensation, but he's got to find 3 more in a post plant, and this really does seem like it will be the end for NECC. They really can't do anything in this position. 30 seconds left on the clock. That trigger alarm will give a little bit of intel, but not enough for Matedo to mark it off it via a kill. Like I said, this could be over in a matter of seconds. Potato might be able to find another one for himself, though. Great kill via that impact grenade, but very little time to work with. 17 seconds now on the clock. He'll go for the defuse and has no clue that Strive is up above on the roof. A 7-0 victory, guaranteeing that CUW takes this best of 3 almost immediately, not going to a 3rd map.
Yep, that is a win on Oregon, and you can't even be mad at Matedo. They tried their best, got 3 kills out of it, and I feel like that's something that you don't feel like that round specifically was a loss. We saw a lot of plays coming in for NECC, but I feel like their biggest weakness is just their playbook. They need to figure out some more strats that are a little bit more effective, or at least that is what I feel like is their biggest thing. Hopefully they do review over this so they can get some of that constructive criticism. However, I feel like ultimately they did their best of their ability, and I am not really in much argument about that.
Well, they're going to have a lot of time to think about it because NECC has now been officially eliminated from the spring season. They're not going to make it to playoffs, but because CUW won that best of 3, they'll move on. So we'll be seeing them possibly next week via a cast possibly, so that'll be exciting perhaps, but that's going to rack up the first best of 3 for this evening. We'll come back to at around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Why did I stutter on that word? I have zero clue why, but you've got an hour and a half to kill. Plenty of time to take a break for the rest of y'all, but we still hope to see you all after that hour and a half has come to an end for 8 o'clock scheduling.
Mm-hmm. I've been the letter H.
And Fellow. That's it. Bye-bye, guys.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.